Squirrel Nutkin lived in a colorful forest filled with bubbling streams and whispering trees. One day he had an overwhelming craving for delicious berries, but not just any berries. He wanted to find the special blue-black berries from the magical thistlewack bush. They were said to be so delicious they would make you dance with joy. Nutkin had heard where this remarkable bush might be found, but it meant a long journey through the forest, a journey that might also mean trouble. Wearing his bright red coat, Nutkin set off without telling anyone so he could have all the berries to himself. Moving quickly and gracefully amongst the trees, he made great progress until a stream blocked his path. The only way across was a wet log. Ever so carefully, Nutkin made his way along the log, one slippery step after another. Shrieking when he almost fell in, he was startled when a grumpy badger shouted at him for waking him up. Poor little Nutkin. He was so scared he almost ran home. But he remembered the magical berries and kept going. By the time Nutkin found the legendary thistlewack bush, he had worked up quite an appetite. The bush was loaded with juicy berries. They were protected by prickly thorns, making it hard to get to them, but Nutkin was so hungry he didn't care. So many berries all to myself, and whenever I want, he squeaked. Plucking one plump berry off the bush, he popped it in his mouth and savored its juicy goodness. "Oh, this is so yummy!" he exclaimed, looking around with a smile. But the smile soon faded on realizing there was no one there to enjoy it with him. Pushing away his sadness, he gorged himself on the sweet berries so fast he didn't notice that his tiny paws were cut and bleeding from the thorns. Nor did he notice he was getting a tummy ache. "Stupid bush, you're not magical at all," he shouted. "I just feel sick, and I sure don't feel like dancing." Nutkin stormed off, heading for home. It was a long walk, and he had plenty of time to think. If only he hadn't been so greedy and stuffed himself so fast, his paws wouldn't be bleeding and sore. His tummy wouldn't be hurting. Maybe it wasn't the bush's fault after all. To make up for what he had done, the next day he told his friends he was taking them on a secret adventure. They would be so surprised to see where he had taken them. He even coaxed grumpy Mr. Badger into joining them. When they all arrived at the bush, Nutkin was shocked to discover that the thistles were gone, and the bush was even more full of berries in spite of how many he had eaten the previous day. And as soon as he and his friends began to eat them, they were suddenly so happy they simply had to start dancing. Finally, Nutkin understood. Smiling, he offered a silent thank you to the thistlewack bush. The magic wasn't in its berries. It was in the beauty of sharing with friends.